Well, hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. We are going through the book of Numbers right now, and this is like episode 81. So we've been at 81 episodes. We've been going through the book of Numbers. We're getting close to finished. We're getting close, but we're not finished. We're starting chapter 31 today. And a lot of times, I don't know if you can see, well, you can because you're watching. You can see the background that I have behind me here in the studio. In each book, I try to have a different background so that it's kind of more uniform, so you can look at and go, okay, we're in Numbers, and he used this background, and then we're in Exodus, and I used a different background, and so forth. And you can see I have up behind me license plates, and they all have numbers and letters on them. But it just helps us understand the book of Numbers is about numbers, but it was really surrounding two censuses that were taken. One at the beginning, one toward the end, which we've already talked about, those censuses. And in that time period, we had, a lot of time has passed, we had a generation that completely died off. Okay? Everyone that was, under over a certain age died. Okay? And so now you have this completely new generation coming up. And so that's why we're reviewing some of the laws and some of the festivals and stuff like that, because this is new to these people. These people are not the ones that came out of Egypt. It was their forefathers that had all died. Okay. And remember, this is they all died because of the sin that they had committed in not trusting God. When the 12 spies were sent out. And so everyone died except Joshua, Caleb, and Moses. All right. And in this passage today, you're going to see God has one last thing he wants Moses to do before he dies. All right. And today I've entitled it, Give Me One Last Battle. Now, Moses didn't say, hey, give me one last battle. It was God who said that. But I want to tell you about another guy who I met recently here, who's saying, I'm not over. He's an older guy. He said, I'm not done. Give me one last battle here and in ministry. So anyway, let's read here today. This is taken from Numbers chapter 31, verses 1 through 6. Okay, and this is all having to do with a battle that takes place that God tells them to have between the Midianites. And the Midianites were the ones that were... we have already talked about that Balaam was trying to help them out, really. Okay, and he succeeded not in bringing a curse on them, but getting the Israelites to fall into idolatry. Okay, and so that's why this battle is taking place, because God says, you're going to take vengeance on them because of what they were doing to you. Let's read. This is Numbers 31, verses 1 through 6. The Lord said to Moses, take vengeance on the Midianites for the Israelites. After that, you will be gathered to your people. Okay, so he's saying, you're going to die, but I want you to do this one last thing. You're going to take vengeance on the Midianites. All right. Verse 3, so that Moses said to the people, arm some of your men to go to war against the Midianites, so that they may carry out the Lord's vengeance on them. Send into battle 1,000 men from each of the tribes of Israel. Okay, so you have 1,000 men for each tribe. At 12 tribes, that would be 12,000 men. All right. So 12,000 men armed for battle, 1,000 from each tribe, were supplied from the clans of Israel. Moses sent them into battle, 1,000 from each tribe, along with Phinehas, son of Eleazar the priest, who took with him the articles from the sanctuary and the trumpets for signaling. Okay. We're going to continue on with the whole battle that takes place tomorrow. But I wanted us to focus today on those two first verses that says, the Lord said to Moses, take vengeance on the Midianites for the Israelites. After that, you will be gathered to your people. Okay, so God is saying, I'm giving you one last battle here. And a lot of times we think when we get close to the end of our life, it's over. They're going to live on easy street and so forth. You don't find that any place in the Bible. You don't find any of the disciples going, yeah, I'm going to retire by the beach and do that. No, none of those disciples did that. And they finished strong, and that's what God is having Moses do here. He's having him finish strong. He's gonna end with one big battle that takes place, and God has called us that way also, to not just sit back and coast at the end of our life, or to fall into sin like so many people have done. Is like, oh, I'm at the end of my life, I'm at the end of my ministry, and then they fall into sin and ruin the ministry they had up until that time. There's been several high, very popular speakers and ministers and so forth, that in the past few years, they've ruined their whole ministry of their whole life because of the foolish things they did toward the end of their ministry. Well, some of them were doing this stupid stuff all through their ministry, but some of these people at the end of the ministry, they thought, oh, I'll just coast and not spend the time I need to with the Lord and do whatever I want to do, and it ruins that whole ministry. There's a guy I met recently here. He's been a pastor in several churches up north for over 40 years. Okay. And he had health problems and stuff, so he came down to Florida, and he was like, hey, I'm going to come down to Florida and try and get my health back a little bit, because his health went down the toilet after all those years of ministry. And so after about a year, he got his health back. The different things, ailments he had, the symptoms, you can say, went away. They weren't affecting him like they were. Okay. So he was like, Lord, give me one last battle. And he laid out some goals. He said, this is what I want to do in service for the Lord. Okay. And it wasn't but like, I'm going to sit beside the pool and drink my Coke every day and so forth. No, he was like, I want to start a ministry. And so he started a ministry in this area, to reach the lost. Okay. His ministry is designed to reach people that have been turned off by church and not going to church, to kind of get them back introduced into church and to get them into a relationship with following the Lord. Okay, and involved with that is baptism and mentorship and so forth. And he said, basically, this is what he's saying. He's saying, give me one last battle. I'm not done. I need to keep on going, serving the Lord. I'm not done. Give me one last battle. So I would encourage you, look at your life. Are you one that's sitting around like, yeah, I'm just going to coast in and, just do whatever I want to do? Or are you going to say, give me one last battle, Lord. I'm ready to fight. Hey, I'm a regular dude walking in the Word, and I ask you to join me tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday, so we're going to be into Psalms tomorrow. But then next week, we're jumping back into Numbers. Lord's blessing. I will see you tomorrow.